is a Honda 2.3 air-cooled outboard. But listen to this. It just completely conks out on me. I'm going to get this thing fixed. I'm going to try it on the water. Wish me luck. Alright, so essentially if the choke's out, the engine runs. As soon as I put the choke back in, it stutters and stalls. Using good old Google, it's telling me that it's probably the carburettor that's clogged. So that's what I'm going to do. Take that out, give it a good old clean, see if we can get it working. First thing we need to do is take the hood off. There's a little rubber tag on the back. If you pull that down, that should lift this up, okay? These two bits here fit into the front, and all you should be able to do is just lift it and just prop it to the side. You can see to the side the carburetor's in there, so we'll just have to take these components off bit by bit and get to the cleaning. These are my trusty little tools. I mean, I just googled what I might need, never done it before, and I got them, all of it, for I think less than 15 quid to be fair. So the first one I'll be removing is this one. You'll see it'll move. That's the throttle, that's an air filter. So I'll take this one first, and then there's one, and there's one down here too, which isn't very visible in this phone. So these go all the way through the carburetor into the cylinders here. So this one first, then these two. So 1, 2. So what I tend to do, top, bottom, down, and then I work in reverse to put the components back in. The air filter will pop out. You can see there's a little nozzle there. Got to make sure that that goes back into here. So, got the choke. You'll see the choke pulls that bit there. Throttle cable here. And then you've got a fuel line. So I need to release those three components in order to get the carburetor out. Once it's out, then I can look at cleaning it. Right, so this is the throttle. Apparently if I put it on a bit of an angle, there we go, it comes loose. I can just put that to his side. Next is a fuel line that has a clamp, so I'm going to need some tools to try and wiggle that free. It looks like the clamp has been replaced in the past with a bit of wire, which I'll have to undo. Okay, got it free. So see here, you've got throttle there, choke, fuel line. Try and get it pointing upwards so no fuel spills out if anything's left in the tank. There has been a bit of spillage in there, but overall the condition within the engine doesn't look too bad. Here it is. You can see it's had better days really, so we'll get cleaning that. So the next bit is, in order to drain it, get in there and clean it out, I've got to take that bolt off. So the rest of the engine's 8mm, on the carburetor I believe is a 10mm, so I'll switch that out. Right, it's always better to put a cloth underneath. It can get pretty mucky. There's the 10mm. off. There we go. You can normally see if there's a little bit of rust, but overall it's not too bad. I'm going to pot this. I've got a pot. The carburetor bits I'm going to put in a separate pot. Not the best angle, but you'll see that a bit of fuel will come out. I forgot to mention, always want to drain the engine first before you do this. This cap, the carburetor will come off. You'll see there's two things. There's a little rubber seal. That's a good indicator to see how worn out the carburetor is. And there's this little protective, I don't know what you call it really, I don't know the technical name for it. But this tends to degrade as well, just here. So a good indicator of the condition it's in, if you look at the casing. But it's not too bad in there. But the next thing we need in here is a little fuel line. You need a flathead. Careful as possible in getting the flathead out. So you're just going to wiggle around. There we go. This is quite out it comes. So you see the tiny little hole in here, which is a key bit that gets clogged up, which is why when I turned the engine on, it would only go with the throttle on because it was desperate for air just to keep everything running through. So the next bit, I'm going to get the little fuel jet here. Sometimes you can see through the hole, just for now. I'm going to put it in a cap. It's quite good. It's quite easy to keep it where you need to. And I've got the carb cleaner. I'm just going to... Right, I'm satisfied. They've had a decent amount of time. The emulsion tube here, just pop that in there. That goes within the carburetor. It just literally pops in and out like that, and put that back in the top, and then we screw it back down. Now it's important that we don't over tighten, because then you'll destroy the threads. Once you feel some tension, just a half turn, so you can easily undo it next time like that. So the next part is just to basically assemble it again. You'll see there's a little rubber ring around here that the bulb goes back onto. Essentially you don't want any leaks in that. I do have some white lithium grease. It's also quite good to prevent corrosion, helps the ring seal a bit better. On, you've got your drain screw there. You want that to go in line with your overflows, little clear plastic tube that comes from the carburetor. So you do 10mm screw, we'll put that back in there. Right, so now I just need to basically work in reverse. So it was actually really fiddly. What I found is it's better to get the fuel line on first, so you've got some flexibility with the line, to then put the choke on, and then you can put the throttle on. Next is to get the filter on. Don't forget about, there's a little tube down here that goes into the filter. That needs to align back into position in it there, and then it can all be pressed. Now, trick is to get it all aligned, go back to your 8mm so you can get the originating screws back on. Getting it all back together was actually more fiddly than taking it apart. So it's good just to give it a little wiggle, make sure nothing's coming loose anywhere, get the drain flow coming down in the right bit, check the separate components. Is the throttle working? Yes it is. Is the choke working? There's the choke, it's working fine. Is the on for the fuel line good and off, locked off? Very good. So then we go, as for best practice, put the cover back on, we'll give it a test. Fingers crossed that would have done the trick. Right, let's give it a go, see if it works. So we've got a safety cord in, pull the choke out, fuel lock off, open the vent. Let's open it fully and we'll see what happens.